Robbie Hull, we talked about the stylistic changes here for Akron. Enrique Freeman now in the NBA.
Cooper.
3 points. They're 5th in the country in three-point percentage. This is what they do, and they're the #1 three-point shooting team in the MAC.
And you're looking at the Akron starting five. Would you believe with that three, this is the first time the Zips have trailed in this MAC postseason tournament?
They've been dominant in this tournament. They've owned this league for the last couple of years.
They won it last year, went to the NCAA tournament, and now good of the night.
Well, he's 11 out of 19 from beyond the arc in this tournament. One of the elite shooters in the country. If he gets going early to keep his team close, that's a great sign for Miami. You have to put a hand up in his face every time.
Johnson again found the seam. He has 6. Yeah, the biggest difference, obviously, at this point was in this game, you're looking at a Zips team that only made a couple of threes. They made 15 threes the first time they played this Redhawks team. Johnson hangs and hits. Miami looking to get back to the dance for the first time since 2007. It's been 15 long years in Oxford, Ohio. But Travis Steele has authored an incredible turnaround in his 3 years as their head coach. There's an easy 2 for Johnson. Now a chance to make it just a 2-possession ball game with a bucket here. Johnson off the window, tough 2. Almost everyone in this crowd has something at stake in this game. Johnson, deep 3.
Second chance points haven't killed them, but with 1:45 to go, they can't afford to give up anymore.
Let's see what Gross screws up.
It's too open.
And we have a tie ball game. Ipsaro, nowhere to go. Tough 2, no. The rebound to Lyles. 5 seconds to go. Here's Johnson at the rim. He wins it. 2 points.
Right on the money. Sam Lewis hit a big 3 in overtime yesterday in the win by 5 over Ohio.
He had a big game against Akron their last time out. 23 points, 8 of 16 from the field. One of the few guys in this conference at a consistent level can score off the bounce and create his own shot.
Creating his own shot.
The Zips that can create on the offensive end. Scott off the bench has done such a good job of being another guy that gets the painted area and finish for himself or create for others.
So you have Toledo, the team that is worst defending the Jay. That one rattles through. Sam Lewis. He is leading the way with 14. It's him and Simmons have combined for 26.
He's the leader in the MAC at pull-up jump shots made this season.
You've highlighted it, Frank, and Toledo gets some stops on this end, not this possession.
That's a loose ball situation. There's going to be a little bit of contact. Unfortunate for Lewis there.
Do you agree with Coach Kowalczyk keeping on Lewis with those 3?
I think so. You have to trust your best players to have high basketball IQs and not pick up a 4th.
Johnson fouls, but Adams is met. Back out to the corner. Wide open 3, but it's short from Wilson. Akron boards. Johnson ahead. Stuffs it down. Wilson cut from the backside. Stepped right in front of Sharon Young. Just a 6-point game. Toledo has fought back.
Well, Adams has to be careful.
Rockets were down as many as 13. Johnson retreats. Mid-range try. Cash. Guy who brings the energy. Without trouble. Each side is 5 with 3 or more. Wilson. Great shooter. Hit 5 threes in the quarterfinal win against Bowling Green. Player of the year in the conference. Nate Johnson uses the scoop. Outside the elbow, sizzling, but he might have rolled an ankle on the way down. He's still in the backcourt as the action goes the other way. You don't want to risk a foul to send them to the line, but instead they make a pay.
They're down 10 here in the first 7 minutes and some change. Marcus Johnson had a good look from the baseline. 1 and done, Bowling Green. So right now, Akron's going with Tavari Johnson, Nate Johnson, Bowen Hardman, James Okonkwo, and Shamas Scott. Another triple, and you can ring that up. Well, Buffalo trying to push a little bit here tonight. Well, that step-back jumper didn't fall for Buffalo's Bryson Wilson. A lot of Wilson presence in this one here tonight, isn't there?
Yeah, there really is.
A couple for the Zips, of course, and Seth and Evan and Bryson for Buffalo. We're 11 minutes and some change into it. Great to have you along tonight. Dunn fires the three, one and done again for, no pun intended, for the Buffalo Bulls. That step back triple.
Oh, 23.
23, I'm sorry.
It was 23.
All right, but it's down to 18.
Score.
And this is a mini run going on now for the Buffalo Bulls. Nate Johnson gave it up. Amani Lyles calling for it, left block. Nate Johnson's triple. Got it.
Jack, who played at Nebraska, was on the 2020 Olympic bronze medal team for Australia.
Yeah, there you go. And he's just hit a couple of free throws, and we're just mentioning about that largest lead of the night at 27. Well, 11 points have been shaved off that by a lot of these Buffalo backups, to be honest. How many opportunities are they giving Buffalo right at the rim easily here in the second half?
Real good looks,
yep.
too.
The normal Akron defense, the pressure, tenacity, hasn't been there tonight. And one.
Isaiah Adams keeping the ball alive. He couldn't get inside position. Utilize that size and length. The back tap to Sam Lewis.
Now Toledo's within 13. Nate Johnson, tough shot and go.
Points and a half every night, but you don't need to if you put 40 minutes together.
Nate Johnson.
It's a big atmosphere, big time game. Took them a little while. They're controlling the pace a little bit better.
And being a part of games like this, understand that rivalry games are always tough because you're hyped up. You want to beat them just as bad as anybody else. And the thing is, you just have to find a way to settle down and make easy plays.
Well, they'll take a three.
Sullinger on the backside being lifted high where the backside guard could not help because Sullinger has the hot hand right now, and Davis is wide open for the layup.
7-0 run for Kent State. Back on top by 9. Under 2 minutes to go. This has been a lot of fun already.
Yes. Great rivalry game.
Nate Johnson. I got bumped off his leg.
I take accountability for that.
Hand up. That's all. Nate Johnson just weaving through traffic, ran into his own man. Takes the fadeaway jumper.
And just understands the moment. Not afraid of the moment. And just to be a sophomore, that's big time.
Sion Medley picks up his third foul. Nate Johnson off the inbound, drives baseline, beats the double team.
Fourth best assist for the MAC, hits Wilson. Curls and misses the three, and Nate Johnson pops one back out. Johnson stops and pops and hits. This is where their dance of rebound goes. We talked about it in the open. If he's doing that, this team's different.
Yeah, look, Cardinals will have a distinct size advantage out there, especially with Mickey Pearson at the wing at 6'8".
Lyles stopped at his tracks. Johnson stepped back. Buries one. It's Akron's first with Hill. Up and in. Nifty move for Fat Hill. But Akron's running, and Johnson scoring.
Year here to go up to him and just tell him how much I appreciated watching him play, and he's just such a humble, kind, nice young man, always thinking of others, and wish him nothing but the best in his pro career.
Johnson's back in with those 3 fouls, gives to the other Johnson, Nate.
7 on the shot clock for Vic Searles. Just could not gain any ground against Amani Lyles. And hurt behind the play is A.J. Shelton. He's slow to get up. Numbers for Akron. And one.
Time, Enrique Freeman honored here at Rhodes Arena. Settle back and enjoy, everybody. We're on go as the Akron Zips will have the first possession of this one, and that means Tavari Johnson running this offense. Nate Johnson on the slash to the rim. 9.
Yes.
In this one. Lowering that shoulder, strong drive to the hoop, but not able to finish was James Dent for Northern Illinois. Zips will find that quick
from the field, so even a really good player will have one of those nights every once in a while.
Yeah, that doesn't mix with all of his offensive exploits, does it? Going scoreless. Tavari Johnson turned the corner. Johnson went up high.
Right from a manager position.
How about that?
He was the team manager. Now he's playing against the Akron Zips. Had 9 points in their last game against Ball State. That was his career high in 16 minutes. And with their injuries, Michael, he's getting a chance right now and living out his dream. Doing a pretty good job.
Good for the young man.
Yes.
Good for the young man. Like those kind of stories.
Well, we had one go to the rafters here tonight, didn't we?
Yeah, we did. Walk on. John Gross would say, I don't like the way it's going. Trying to finish that with strength. Seth Wilson trying to deny Nazir Muhammad. Zips get the rip away. Nate Johnson to the hole. Got it to drop.
Barbie's going to be upset with 3 straight turnovers. Inside. That comes off. Loose ball. And the Zips come up with it. Johnson attacks. There's the first 2 of the game. Well, Central Michigan normally they don't take and make a lot of threes. It's Akron that does, but the Chippewas turning the tide. Johnson knocks down his second bucket. This against Western on Tuesday, 7 for 7. There he gets a block too. Offense and defense from 0.
Almost a travel there in transition.
Tough shot. That goes in, though, from Johnson. Scott. Lyles. Not to be, but Akron has options. Johnson. There's their first 3.
Still bothered.
Defense optional there, too, because of a great move. You know, about 20 minutes away on Tuesday in Kent, Ohio. That's those 2 rivals. Defense optional there, too. 91-83. Golden Flashes beat the Chippewas, so we had a lot of high-scoring games in the MAC on Tuesday night. Nice turn to the cup. Johnson already has 11. Was hanging in here. Tyler Vanderjagt gets turned over again. Johnson, one-on-one, scores.
A really good job by Nate Johnson.
His way to the cup. Wow.
Had Gray on skates, and there was no catching up to Jacoby Hetty. What a find!
Look at that. Nobody home. Johnson.
Boy, out of that deep right corner in front of the Zips bench, that's Donovan Williams, 6'5", graduate for head coach Dwayne Stevens out of Rockford, Illinois.
3-pointers should be a real big deal in this game, Michael, and winners in a game. That's bad news because the Zips average 11.6 threes a game. That's number 3 in the nation. So it could be a huge factor.
2 Western Michigan opportunities for their leading scorer again, Chauncey Willis and then Max Burton. Neither one of them went down. Firing the 3 in the second half.
We've also seen Western Michigan palms up after those calls, Michael, as in, what? I don't think they agree with most of them.
Well, trying to go to the hole. Nate Johnson, he reversed that home. Well, let's see if the Zips can use the final 9 minutes to right their game. Again, they've got a lead. They played very well offensively, not so much defensively. Johnson will raise up and ring up right. How about Western Michigan from the line, too? In addition to shooting 47% and 44% from 3, they're 14 of 17 from the stripe. The Zips have to scramble to keep the possession alive. Marvin Musime Kamali on the floor. That's next to that going to the hoop. Chauncey Willis and got that to fall back to a 5-point game.
Willis is a big-time offensive player, isn't he?
Nate Johnson, yeah, count that.
Shema Scott lost that basketball, picked it up, and then Weed committed the foul, Michael. He wants that one back.
All right, Tavari Johnson along with Shema Scott in John Gross's backcourt. Seth Wilson along with Nate Johnson and James Okonkwo are the 5 on the floor. Nate Johnson to launch and lace that trip. Okay, so that just goes down as a non-made shot. Akron comes away with the steal, and the Zips have got a 22-point lead. Distribution. I'll say it right, of the basketball from Jamari Hill.
Word, Michael. That's a tough one.
Yeah, Jamari Hill, a terrific pass to Ben Hendricks. with his distribution. Johnson will drill the jump. Seth Wilson will load up a three. Back rimmed it. Seth ran it down. So Tavari Johnson, Amani Lyles, Nate Johnson, Seth Wilson on the floor, along with Shama Scott. Excellent bounce pass. Second foul called on Ball State's 6'10", big Peyton Sparks. So he's going to take a seat right now. And with this one tied at 28 apiece. Back on the floor is Ben Hendricks, also 6'10", who wears number 34. Shot clock at 6. Tavari Johnson wanted to lift that and couldn't. That's a tough fadeaway jumper. And a minute or so there, and now Seth Wilson is back on the floor as we're going to come inside 3 minutes on this Zips trip to the offensive end. Akron has been led tonight by the shooting of Sharon Young. The freshman has hit 3 triples. Well, that's an outstanding baseline move. On the baseline, that's Ethan Britton Watts. Good size, 6'1", but over 200 pounds. Lowered his shoulder, got to the bucket.
Another transfer. He's in after 4 years at Boston University.
Well, how about on the deck, spin and make?
Michael, he has turned his season around. First 10 games, 8.2 points. He's more than doubled that.
Yep.
17 points a game in his last 11. His rebounding has doubled in the last 11 as well.
Boy, Amani Lyles, 5, counting tonight at home here for the Akron Zips. We'll be with you for all of them. And boy, Akron again just...
Scout report on how to defend Akron. You have to match up the three-point line early.
Davis in the paint, had a great look, couldn't get it to go, and Gray coming back the other end.
Right to Barkley.
Yeah, on an 8-0 run. Johnson, that is good work. The preseason All-MAC first teamer. Gillespie with the jump hook.
An obvious statement of the game, but need more of that going inside early. But they haven't been able to because of Akron's pressure.
What a feed! Johnson to Seth Wilson, or Johnson to Johnson. Selinger with a runner in the corner for Davis. And the Golden Flashes need those open looks to go down. Like that from Johnson.
What did you say? Good switch.
On camera was getting a little frustrated, getting doubled. He told him, look, dude, you're the man. You're the star. The teams know it. They're going to double you. You got to fight through it. And we're seeing him do that tonight. Oh, Nate Johnson. Great patience, and he fades away. You know, we had some interesting moments, but he said, you know, he thought he was going to transfer away and go to...
He was on his way to Furman.
Yeah, and then he came back in August, and their relationship has never been better. Good work by Johnson. Like that move in the paint.
That is the first kill shot of the game for Kent State.
Kill shot.
10-0 run.
All right, okay. Johnson spinning along the baseline. He is tough to defend. Wide open is Sumlin, who steps into it. Won't go. Okonkwo, he's been a beast on the boards, comes down with a rebound. Oh, up top, Johnson. Good body control. Tavari to Nate.
And now you'll be going left to right on your device, wherever you're watching us here in Illinois, Ohio, or around the world. Akron lineups, no changes here. They've stuck with this lineup for quite some time here. Of course, we talk about Nate Johnson as well. 13 points a game, coming off a 14-point effort the other.
No surprise for Wilson to shoot a three. He comes in shooting over 80% of his shots are threes, so Northern should not give him open looks.
You get the feeling, just looking at the numbers, we're going to see chucking up and down the floor. Back and forth, but a lot of threes. Here's Johnson. Long range, and it goes in. Nate Johnson. They back it out, but the shot clock winding down. He couldn't get rid of it. And a turnover. Wide open look as Nate Johnson goes in for the flush. Cutter inside. Didn't try to get it. Now cut back out and a takeaway. Johnson all by his lonesome for the finish. And the finish. Let's see if they can figure out a way to get Mott involved. 4 points against Ball State. Fouled out in that one. Trying to stay on the floor now with 4 fouls, and he's done a good job for the last 5 minutes playing with 4 fouls. And the answer in the other end, see if he can warm up a bit. He'll try the three. It's short. Might have been deflected.
And that was a not a good shot selection right there.
Drive on in. It's a two-hand jam.
Ball screen. Shot clock at 3. Nate Johnson off the crossover. Okonkwo's got an offensive board. Johnson will load it up again. Got it. Big offensive basketball team, but to stay with Miami, you're going to have this and strength on the defensive end. Look at a pull-up triple. Nate Johnson will rattle that. That'll be a block shot or a steal. Maybe both would apply, quite honestly. Rocking that rim. Fly. Yeah, the lead is 29, and now the Zips got to rip away. That's Nate Johnson to fly high.
Nate Johnson just walked over near where we are here at center court, and somebody said something to him. Here he goes.
Excellent rip away there. Miami and Akron coming into this one today. And unless something dramatically changes, there's only going to be one, and that'll be the Akron Zips in this category as we're approaching the halfway point, the second half. That's an outstanding move. Whirling his
eye on ball movement and player movement.
Fredericks Maynards with the layup that won't fall. And while everything was falling for the Bulls against Western, not much is falling right now. 1 of 8.
Somebody gets a lid on the basket early for the Bulls. So that was a great execution there. Good pass.
Step up 3 will go for Nate. Yeah, I think as good as the Bull, and quick hands and a steal for Nate Johnson and a run-out dunk for Nate. The foul. So you touched on this earlier. You know, you had the Bulls coming off their best game of the season, their first MAC win, a game where everything goes right, and might have cooked up in the halftime locker room. Kick it back to Tim Obo for 3, and I don't know if that's what was designed on the grease board in the locker room, to have Tim Obo try just his 8th 3 of the season. Into the lane, another fall away and another bucket. And this one up last night against Ohio State. Thought there was a chance they were going to come back and tie that game up, but he and Ryan Sable were pretty close, and Ryan's got to be pretty proud of the season that Ryan Lee Leonard had for the Irish.
Absolutely.
Everybody ran away from Nate Johnson, so he said, and it's a different kind of good because it's a much different kind of team. There's no obvious NBA draft pick like there was with Enrique Freeman.
This year's team is strength in numbers.
And that's Nate Johnson.
Nice drive there. Sharif Mitchell with the bucket.
And that's what you have to guard against when you're guarding Jackson Paveletzky, right? When he makes moves and he's attacking the paint, he really wants to set a teammate up. Yeah, he'll take his opportunities to score, but don't overhelp off of your matchup. Force Jackson Paveletzky to go out there and put up 25 or 30 instead of going for 17 and 8.
Johnson got caught up there, and Ohio was the only D1 program that found him kind of out of nowhere. Was doing color commentary for their last game because he's out injured right now. He's kind of in between teams with pro basketball right now, but as soon as he gets off the injury list, he'll be playing somewhere.
Absolutely.
Looking forward to seeing what Jason Preston does next. But for now, Ohio struggling right now. Just 5 of 23 from the field. That's 21%. They trail at 22-18 to the Akron Zips, who've kind of cooled off a bit offensively as well. What a drive there, Nate Johnson.
That's right. They have to get their body in a position where they're able to take those backdoor cuts and accept them.
Oh, another takeaway. Here's Young. Oh, what a pass! Leaving it back for Johnson.
On the offensive end, let's see if they can get A.J. Clayton involved in some action, start to get this offense moving a little bit.
Up top, a miss there.
The 20% from the field is just not like Akron at all. Excuse me, like Ohio.
Another make for me.
Bobcats, let's see if they can build some sort of momentum here. Cut this lead to 10 for the half.
Tavari Johnson thought about it. Got it back to Lyles up top. Nate Johnson. Heat check. Got another one.
Have resilience, but we kind of want to be able to not have to come back with just 2 on the shot clock.
3-0 in the MAC and 3 tight ones, but Sonny Wilson has only been in single digits once, point-wise, in those 15 games. So he has been a deluxe offensive performer for Todd Kowalczyk. Nate Johnson went glass and got that to drop. He started a few for the Zips.
Akron's had a couple of really good looks inside, Michael. Good opportunities and not able to convert those.
Like that. That was that step back jumper is right there for Sam Lewis. Sophomore out of the real strong prep basketball city of Chicago. Count that. Strong after it on the offensive window. Tavari Johnson get a real good look at three. Nate Johnson, another offensive board and finish.
Haven't seen that yet tonight. I'm interested to see what adjustments each team makes as this thing continues to go, because Akron hanging around right now despite being just 2 of 12 on threes.
Well, Seth Hubbard just missed a long-range three for Toledo. That's Nate Johnson.
Leads the Zips with 11.
Speaking of physicality, James Okonkwo back in the floor. A lot of front rimming for the Zips on their deep threes. Not finishing. Nate Johnson wasn't able to do that as he was in traffic. Now the Zips get a Nate Johnson rip away and throw down at the offensive end.
Zips have just been contesting everything, Michael, and they've been all over the offense or the glass all night long, both ends of the floor.
Well, coaches will usually tell you when you get down double digits, the only way you're going to get back is got to start in the defensive end. Excellent take to the hole and finish.